Okay, we are live. I am here with Lynn, and I'm so grateful for her being here today. We are talking all about virtual group fitness and in-person group fitness. So right now, I know my club's experimenting with it, and I know a lot of you guys, as you start to slowly open your doors, but your capacity is so low, maybe considering it. And so we wanted to get ahead of the game. We wanted to clarify also that we're not talking about technology today. We don't, while we may look like we are experts in technology, we are far from experts. So we are really going to hone in on the experience. How do you help the people who are, I always say, like, the people in the computer need to have that same or similar experience, as close to it as possible, as the people in the room, which, as Jalen knows, and we talked earlier, multitasking as a group fitness instructor is real. And now we're asked to teach to a phone or a computer along with these in-person people. So I'm super excited for all the content that she has to share today. But first, I have to introduce her a little bit more. So Jalen graduated from the Texas State University with a bachelor's degree in exercise sports science as well as in nutrition. She's been I call her a fitness influencer just because I've seen her posting so much great content on her Facebook page and Instagram page. And she's a teacher, a mom, and contributes to the instructor education videos that are on the Agnostic American Council on Exercise Facebook page that Shannon Fable and I had talked about on one of our interviews. So check that video out as well. She's a group exercise instructor, and when the world of teaching moved to virtual, she has continued to keep her education relevant, which I think is so helpful. And I've been really motivated by her to create a great experience for instructors. So thank you so much, Jalen, for being here today.
Oh, Stacy, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited, super excited to be here. And oh my gosh, it's been so fun watching all the things that you've done, and you've just dove in head first into this new world that we're in. And it has been really, really cool to watch that. And so exciting that digital has given us the opportunity. I didn't know you, and now we know. And here we are doing this thing. So super, super cool. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And that's what's so crazy is I'm here in Seattle, Jalen's in Texas.
Yeah.
We're able to connect and share our thoughts with the world. So we're excited about that. But my first question for Jalen today is really, what are some important considerations you would recommend instructors make when they dive into potentially teaching a virtual class along with an in-person class?
Well, the first thing I think that we need to consider is what an incredible opportunity the virtual and the in-person blended model provides us with. We have this huge opportunity to get people moving with us and keep them moving with us. It gives us an opportunity to keep our members connected to us and with the energy and the excitement of that Group X experience until they're ready to come back and be in the facility, or until our facilities open the doors or whatever it is. And then I think the really cool thing that this provides us with is the opportunity to introduce people that might not know the magic of group fitness to what group fitness is, and that magic and that excitement. And I think that as group fitness instructors, we are kind of junkies. We love it. We tend to think it's the greatest thing in the world, right? And we forget how intimidating it can be, like super intimidating to walk into a room full of people that know what they're doing. They're all moving in sync. They've got the cute little spandex on. And we're like, I don't know if that's for me, right? But this in-person and hybrid experience or opportunity allows us to kind of digitally reach people first in an environment that is a little, I don't want to say safer, because safer I think is taken on a different meaning and this world that we're in, right? But I guess it's easier and it's less scary, right? So maybe that woman or man that watches us on the treadmill and is like, I want to go to that class, but like, I don't think I feel like walking into the door, right? Mm-hmm. Turning on the camera at home might be a really, really great way to introduce somebody to that experience, right? Saying, or like maybe they're rocking the strength classes, or they want to take dance, but can't dance to save them lives. That's me. But I could totally turn on the camera and dance my little heart out at home, right?
Wow.
There's people that have just coming in to group fitness, right? I can try it from home and feel so much more comfortable. And I think that this blended model, opportunity to pull people into that experience. And if we can take advantage of it and we can really pull them into the experience, we're increasing the likelihood that they're going to come be it and check it out and want to be a part of it with us. So I think that's just a huge opportunity that we absolutely need to take advantage of. And then so just a couple other considerations to kind of help us take advantage of that and make the most out of it. Our camera setup and class duration. I think it's really important that we consider where and how we set up our camera if we have that opportunity to do so. Ideally, to create this cohesive environment that brings people together, we need to set up the camera in a way that we are facing our virtual participants, as well as facing the people that are in the room with us, right? Like if we can prevent turning our back on anybody, really good, because it just creates this disconnect. And there's a lot of different ways. Like you could set it up in front of you. You might set it up in the back of the room. If you can somehow get it mounted up on the ceiling so it kind of like hangs down, so it's not really a barrier between you and your participants. I think the key is just really making sure that we are facing our participants so we can make eye contact with everybody in the room, as well as those that are in the room with us in a slightly different world, right? And then class duration. I think that we have learned over the past few months that the 60-minute workout model perhaps isn't the best at home, right? Life happens, emergencies, kids, dogs, work, whatever it is, 60 minutes can be really, really hard to do. And granted, it's super easy to turn your computer off and log off, but I think that we can introduce the class in a way that sets it up so that if participants do feel like they need to log off, they feel successful doing it, right? So intro, you started out like this is a full body 60-minute class. 60-minute strength class, feel free to stay for the whole workout or bounce when you are confident that you have met your goals for the day, right? Just they feel totally cool getting the green light to go. So consideration, super cool opportunity to face everybody and make it okay to not come back to 60 minutes. Yeah.
I love it. I love all three of those. And it's so true about the dancing environment. I think the participants from home, they may have felt more comfortable already when we've been teaching virtually alone in our houses or whatever. But now they can see all these smiling participants who.
Sorry, I don't know.
Oh, that's fine. Probably me. So it's totally fine. Live, exactly. So what's cool is they can actually see the other participants that might be making mistakes too. And they're just smiling and having fun. So I think you're so on point there. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's so true. And to get to smile and have fun a little bit at home before you have to put on your spandex and go check it out. People like get more confident in there, right? Yeah.
Totally.
Okay. I pause you and ask my voice to come talks.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Cole, please
get my next question.
What? Please come get the dogs. Totally thought that they were.
Thanks, Cole. That's awesome.
But okay, Buddy too, please, quickly.
Go.
Think about it.
That's awesome.
What a great time for life to happen.
I know. Perfect timing. I love it.
Okay, I think we can get back
to it. Perfect. Love this world. Love live. Love it. So the next question I have for Jalen is the advice you have for instructors when it comes to the giving both the in-person participants and the virtual participants enough attention. So like you said, eye contact was a big one.
Yeah, so I love this question because I think that live streaming workouts, we've been doing that, or video on demand type workouts tend to do one of two things. We are either setting up our camera and we're teaching directly to the person at home, or it's an in-person filming, so to speak, where you're just kind of an outsider looking in onto the class and still taking the class. Like either way, get a great workout, right? But finding that at-home workout where you're also a part of the experience, really hard to come by. And we can blend those two. Again, like I said, we have the opportunity to pull people into the room with us and to make them feel really connected and want to be there. And I think that's just a really unique opportunity that this whole situation has provided us with. And I think doing this, trying to provide that equal attention between both at home and in-person experiences is going to be the art of combining the skills that we have acquired over the past few months. You know, the camera presence, creating really great content, amping up the volume on our coaching. For some of you guys, it might be technology. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, all of that with the skills that we're used to create those off the charts Group X classes. And I totally think it's going to take time. It is going to take practice. We are going to have patience with ourselves and give ourselves grace, because it is going to be an art. And the more that we do it, the more comfortable we'll get and the better we'll get at it. So yeah, totally new world. And probably super easy to jump back into our facilities and teaching Group X and kind of just get like wrapped up in that in-person experience. And if you have a camera with you there, potentially forget that it's there and like it's rolling and that we're bringing those people in. So while it may seem like common sense, I think it's important to point out to acknowledge our at-home participants, right? Look at the camera and share your enthusiasm and your excitement with them in the introduction. Interact with them throughout the workout and thank them for coming, right? They're the other side of that camera are human beings that have put their workout clothes on, powered devices, and they're ready for a great workout. Like, let them know that you are there with them and we're going to rock this as a team, both in person and out. And thanks. So I think that a big part of that is letting go of the idea that the camera is a thing, right? It's an electronic device that broadcasts our workouts, and we can totally view it as that, or like we put our microphone on to connect with our participants over the loud music that we love to like get up as high as possible, right? The camera becomes this catalyst for connection. On the other side, behind that camera, are warm bodies that are craving connection. And we have the opportunity to be there and to give that to them. And just like all the other warm bodies that are in the room with us, the people behind the camera need to be connected with. They need to be engaged with. They need inspiration. They need motivation. They need encouragement, passion, energy, enthusiasm, acceptance, validation, right? Whatever it is that you give to the people in the room, you've got to give to the people that are in the room with you, just connected differently. So for the camera, make eye contact with the camera, smile at the camera, just a big part of making them feel like they're in the room with you.
I love it. I love it. And something I actually just realized too is potentially depending on how they're coming in, like I know if I'm doing a Facebook Live, I can see who's starting to show up and you could say their name. You could like do a quick shout out if you can see it, or if they pre-register or something. I was just realizing.
Oh yeah,
name's right there.
Anytime. So awesome if we can use that. And if not, I mean, still, we got to acknowledge their presence and let them know that we are here with you and you are here with us, and we are all excited to do this thing.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. And then last question for me, but we have a couple other things we're going to chat about, are just some ways that instructors can improve their verbal cues to enhance their physical body cues while they're teaching.
Can I start this one with a reminder to stop talking so much? We love, well, I think there's two things that possibly happen. We as instructors love to hear ourselves talk, or we are terrified of the silence and feel compelled to fill up dead space with anything and everything that we can come up with. And whatever end of the spectrum that we're on, or if we fall somewhere in the middle, all of that talk ends up getting in the way of our participants' ability to learn and to process the information and to get more out of the experience. And I think bringing this to life through like the different types of learners is kind of a really great way to think about that, right? Like you have auditory learners, and they are hinging on every single word we speak. I'm an auditory learner. So when I take a class and the instructor never stops talking, I'm constantly trying to listen for that next piece of information because I've got to pull it in and I can't turn her out. That's just the way that my brain works. And if they never stop talking, I never get that opportunity to come into the experience and really feel my workout, right? And our auditory learners at home, they might even set up the camera in a position where they can't really see it, but they can hear it. So really important for our words to be, or our cues to be direct and clear and concise. Visual learners, on the other hand, they're watching our remove. Our visual learners are the ones that we point right and they point right. Well, I don't, this is.
Oh yeah.
The image is reversed. I have no idea what right and left is anyway. And now it's just really.
Yeah.
Their head, right? And their hands go up their heads. Too much talk. And they're going to tune us out because that's not what they need to learn. They're watching us to learn. At home, they might even turn off the sound, right? And so then we really have to think about like how we're using our body to get our message to come across. And then of course we have kinesthetic learners that feel, and they need to tell us what they want, what we want them to feel. And then we have to talking so they feel it, right? Yeah. So all of that to say, we really don't need to talk as much as we think that we need to talk in the group X studio or on camera, whatever it is. So fun fact, seven, not sure why I have two numbers. 7% of our message that we are delivering comes from the words that we speak. That's crazy, right? Like, all we do is talk, and only 7% is actually coming. The rest is coming from all of this, right? Our facial expressions, our body language, what we do with our arms and our hands, our tone of voice, our rate of speech, all of that makes up a big part of the message, right? So that kind of takes us back to the first topic. Stop talking. Or maybe don't talk so much, right? Make a really conscious choice behind the words that you speak, and then use all that you have available to you, all those different tools, facial expressions, gestures, tone of voice, body language, to enhance and complement the words that we're speaking. And if we have time, we could go into maybe a few ways that we can use body language and tone of voice and that kind of stuff to complement the message. Yes?
Oh, totally. And that's so true. Like the visual learners want to hear and see you go like, open up your chest, like actual, like physical, big, broad that can complement, like you said, and then just leave it at that. So they have a second to feel that opening. I love that.
Yeah, because even if we just go into another big giant movement, like they're giant movement with us, and nonstop talk, we're never processing the information, we're just constantly trying to keep up. So
and really I would encourage everyone, if you can record your experience, then why not watch it yourself? And you don't have to watch the whole thing because you would need like a bottle of wine for that. but a few minutes and you will just really see what we're speaking about. It's easy for you to think, I just cut down so many words. I got so much better at not talking so much. And then all of a sudden you watch yourself and you're like, I don't think I took a breath. So it's the reality. Face the reality. Yeah.
On top of that, this is one of the things that I learned from the amazing Shannon Fable is when you record and watch, try to watch it without the sound and then go back and listen to it without watching it, right? And you probably will have some new takeaways from those two experiences as well.
Yes. Oh, so true. So true. Well, those are the questions I have for Jaylyn today. We have a little bit of time. And so I think we were going to talk about like questions, using questions and cueing as well.
Oh yeah, that was one of the things So let me we kind of talked a little bit about going into how we can use voice and body language to complement the experience. Is that cool, or do you want to kind of go to like questions? Or
let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay. So going back to this idea that we have 7% of the message comes from the words that we speak, how can we use the other 93% to make sure that that message is more powerful and more impactful for our participants? And our voice is a really, really, really big part of that, especially for auditory learners, right? The way that we speak and the rate of our speech conveys a huge part of the message. I think that where we can really build this into the group exercise experience is within the energy and the intensity of the class, right? When the energy is a little bit lower or the intensity is lower, generally speaking, softer tones, maybe more conversational type of speak with a slower rate of speech, right? But then as the energy increases or the intensity increases or the demand or the effort or whatever it is you want from your class, like bigger, more motivating voice, maybe get a little bit faster in the way that you speak.
Yes.
And then with like body language, it's kind of the same type of concept. How can we use our body to complement the words that we're speaking? Like you said, you did that with your shoulders, right? And again, intensity is another really awesome place that we can do this. I know I learned this years ago, and one of the first times that I did it in class, it was just like, whoa, like I just moved bigger. I didn't say anything, right? Like the music kind of complemented it too. And that's a really cool thing that we can do too when we have the music to complement. But I just didn't talk and I moved bigger and everybody moved bigger with me. And it was just this like, whoa.
Wow.
So powerful. And then if we have those people at home that are watching us and not listening to us because they've muted us or whatever, like how cool is it that we can, with the intensity of our body, right, bigger movements or more exaggerated movements or faster movements, however it is that we're trying to get that intensity out of them, or decrease the intensity by kind of doing the reverse, when we can show that physically, like it just brings us another element to it that definitely super important for the visual learners at home. But then when it all comes together, it creates this full experience and really kind of takes the participants on a journey. So it's super cool. And I don't want aesthetic learners. So we kind of go back to the feeling. I think it's really important here when we're putting a conscious effort behind our words to aim to use more descriptive type cues that will help our participants feel all the different sensations that we want them to feel through that journey and exercise. So I think it's so cool. It's so fun to play with. And this is when you start to like watch but not listen, listen but not watch. Like you can see, you're like, oh, I'm getting it. My voice was saying one thing and that's not what I wanted.
Or my voice was saying one thing and I was physically doing the other, not realizing it. Watch it. So good. So true. And then creating that, I think, inclusive environment too, that like you've said, motivate all bodies and help create success for everybody.
Fitness is not one size fits all. I believe that the way that we deliver progressions and regressions, or the options of the workout, is another area where really amazing things can happen when we use our body to complement the words that we speak, right? Like just using language that is welcoming and inclusive and free of judgment. And then using our bodies to show our participants that wherever they are in their fitness journey, they fit in with us, right? And when we combine language and physicality to show that, we create this atmosphere of empowerment and success. And it's so just, that's when such cool things happen. Like I've not always said, because it's one thing that I learned somewhere down the road, but or not down the road, but somewhere back, right? When I really understood the empowerment that we could do with choice, and I started to watch a room full of people do what's right for them, like make smart choices for them in the moment, that was when like, oh my gosh, I did it. Like I got this. There are people all and they're all doing what they need to do to feel confident, and they feel good about it, and it's what the choice they made, and they want to do it. And so just it's super, super, super cool to watch that.
Mm-hmm. And that really kind of brings it all full circle, because then those people at home, the more successful and the more options we give them, that just makes it even more possible, like you said, for them to come in person, because we both know just how powerful and amazing the in-person experience is. And once it's 100% safe, and it's like you said, safety has changed.
Right.
Once we're ready to have everyone, hopefully in bigger crowds, who knows how big, but then we're more likely to get those people to come meet us in person.
When they can see us, or they see themselves somewhere in us, or somewhere in the class, or just a part of the world that we're creating, I think it's super cool. And how we use our language and how we deliver progressions and regressions is really a big part of it. I think sometimes, totally unintentionally, we can deliver options with kind of the underlying message that it is not as good, right? Mm-hmm. If you need an easier option, or if this is too much, or if this is too challenging, and it totally comes from the right place. Like, I want to have something for everybody in the room, but then it can have that underlying message that if I'm not doing that progression, that's the ultimate choice, and if I'm not there, I'm perhaps maybe not succeeding the way that I should be. And that's absolutely not what we want to send. And I think that if we haven't done so already as instructors, when we shift our mindset to progressions and regressions and modifications, they're all equal. They're all tools. They're choices delivered to our participants so that they are equipped to have what they need to accomplish the task, right? And when we shift that mindset, I think that's when the magic in our language really starts to come out, right? So when you're up on your toes and you say, if you need an easier option, come down to your knees on push-ups. Instead, we say something like, knees or toes, where do you feel the strongest and most powerful, right? Like, if you can't squat this low, come up a little bit higher, versus you could say, like, you can squat low, you can squat high, or you can find your magic place somewhere in the middle, right? I mean, it can be very hard at first. And sometimes it's easier just to be like this, or this. But the more you start to bring that to life in your classes, the more you start to play with your words and find really cool ways to empower your participants with choice. Yeah.
So good. I'm stealing those cues. The way you put them in. That's
Go for it, girl. Go for
it. I think the word is creatively acquire them.
I love this. But that's really, like, and that's such a, this, as instructors, what we has become available to us in the past 3 months, like our ability to learn from other instructors, to watch other instructors, and to creatively acquire tools that knowledge and insight to get more people moving and feel confident and successful moving their bodies the way that they need to move their bodies to keep moving. I mean, it's awesome. Super awesome.
Yeah. It's endless. It's become endless now for learning from each other. Yeah. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, Jalen, was there anything else we need to chat about? I think that's all I have for us today, but
that's it. I love to talk about this stuff. So
I know. I'm sure we can talk for longer. We'll maybe meet up. We'll definitely meet up again sometime. But where can they find you? Most likely on Facebook. Is that going to be the best place to see your content?
Probably, yes, on Facebook. I'm on Instagram too, and I try to do both.
Yeah. And then, as I said, if you're American Council on Exercise certified, or you're considering it, hop on that agnostic Facebook page and watch her videos, because a lot of what she talked about today will be in there and more. And it's really, the interesting thing is that a lot of the same things we would do in person need to be applied when we have virtual and in-person people. It's just making that connection. And I think it was great. Hopefully this was helpful for everybody. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to this channel and feel free to comment on what other ideas you'd like me to speak with Jalen about in the future, and we can have her on again. And so comment, share what you've learned during this time too. What have you learned? And we can learn from you as well. So Thank you again, Jalen, for your time. We so appreciate
Thank
you.
you. Thank you guys so much.
All right.